I'm 36, and for most of my adult life, I thought my marriage to Emily was rock solid. We'd spent nearly a decade together, building what everyone around us assumed was a perfect life. A warm home, shared laughter, dinners with friends, and family visits on weekends. People often told us we were that couple, the one everyone envied. But what others saw was only the surface. Things started to change after Emily went on a week-long girls' trip to Miami. I didn't question it at the time. She deserved to relax, and I trusted her completely. But when she came back, it felt like I was living with a stranger. Her energy had shifted. She seemed distant, her eyes distracted, her touch colder. Even her laugh, the one that used to make everything feel lighter, sounded forced, like it belonged to someone pretending to be happy. A few days later, she asked to talk. We sat at the dining table, the same one that had seen years of shared meals, late-night conversations, and even arguments we'd always managed to move past. But that day, she looked at me with a strange calmness and said, "Daniel, I think we should just be friends." For a second, I thought I misheard her. Friends? After everything we'd been through? But her tone was steady, almost rehearsed. She said she didn't feel the same anymore and thought it would be healthier for us to move forward as friends. Those words hit me harder than I expected. A decade of love, commitment, and partnership, dismissed with the kind of line people use after a few casual dates. I wanted to ask why, but deep down, I already knew it didn't matter. Maybe there was someone else, or maybe her heart had simply moved on. Either way, the result was the same. I was no longer the man she wanted to share her life with. I didn't argue or plead. I just said quietly, "If that's what you want, then that's what we'll do." She looked surprised. I think she expected tears or anger, but I gave her neither. Over the next few days, while she carried on like nothing had happened, still laughing on the phone, posting online, making brunch plans, I started preparing. I organized her finances, met with a lawyer, and began the slow process of letting go. A week later, we were in the kitchen. She was scrolling on her phone when I said, "You told me you wanted us to be friends, right?" She looked up and nodded casually. "Yeah, I think that's best." I smiled faintly. "Good, because I've already spoken to a lawyer. The divorce papers will be ready next week." Her phone slipped from her hand. "Wait, divorce. You said you want to be friends." I replied calmly. "And friends don't share accounts, houses, or beds. I'm giving you what you asked for, your freedom. But that freedom doesn't come with my support or protection. Those belong to a wife, not a friend." For the first time, I saw her composure crack. She tried to backpedal, saying she just needed space, that she didn't mean it literally. But I had already accepted the truth. "No, Emily," I said, "you chose your words. Now I'm choosing mine." From then on, she unraveled. One day she accused me of being cold. The next, she'd act as if nothing had changed, cooking breakfast and humming in the kitchen like we were still us. But I was done pretending. The final blow came when she discovered I had closed our joint account. She burst into my office, furious. "You moved the money. How am I supposed to pay for things?" I looked her straight in the eye. "That's the thing about friendship," I said. "Friends don't spend each other's money." Her anger turned to panic. She begged, cried, and swore she didn't mean to end things. She said she only wanted to see if I still cared. But by then, my care had run dry. When the divorce papers arrived, I signed them without hesitation. Watching her realize that her test had cost her everything didn't make me feel triumphant. Just free. In the end, Emily taught me something I'll never forget. Love doesn't die overnight, but it can't survive without respect. And when someone decides to downgrade you from a partner to a friend, the best thing you can do is let them live with exactly what they asked for.